it's worth. I'm sorry for everything.
Hello once again, watchers of good movies. My name is Nick Pell and this is my review of The Mule. Now this is the latest film to be directed by Clint Eastwood. He also stars in the film in the leading role, and the general plot of this film, if you are not familiar, is that we have Clint Eastwood's character. He is a 90-year-old man, and he is someone who has worked the majority of his life just focused on his job, his work, and trying to just provide money and just basically hanging out with the community of people that do the same thing that he does. And as a result, he has neglected his family. He has missed a lot of important events. He's missed his daughter's baptism, communion, wedding. He's missed his wife's and his anniversaries multiple times. And he's just not been a very good father or husband as a result. And so once he has some financial troubles down the line, he starts to realize, oh hey, family is kind of important, and he tries to get money in a more non-legal way as a drug mule, essentially. And so the majority of this film follows him during that time in his life where he is driving back and forth from Texas to Chicago, carrying more and more drugs each time, as the DEA and one agent played by Bradley Cooper try to hone in on him and put an end to his operation. And for the most part, I thought that Clint Eastwood did a really good job in this film. He does have some kind of iffy accent stuff, I thought, at the beginning, personally, but for the most part, I really enjoyed his character. I thought he was a really interesting person overall, just because, like I said, he's been this person who has worked diligently for a large portion of his life to provide for his family, but as a result, he's neglected his family, and so it's something which has come back to bite him. It's something which he deeply regrets, and so it's kind of this interesting duality that he has to face, and the main reason why he decides to go into this drug mule business to kind of start to be there for his granddaughter now as a result. Bradley Cooper is basically this DEA agent who is sent to Chicago from some other facility, and basically they want him to crack down on the drug stuff happening in Chicago, and so he hones in on Clint Eastwood's drug mule person, tries to figure out who he is and basically stop his cargo and catch him in the act. And I honestly thought that Bradley Cooper was just kind of Bradley Cooper in this film. He doesn't do anything really outstanding, or he doesn't really live up to what he did in like A Star Is Born, something of that sort. But one of my favorite parts of the film is when we have these two characters interacting with one another before Bradley Cooper is even aware that Clint Eastwood is the person that he's trying to find and track down. And so it just kind of makes for this interesting conversation because Clint Eastwood is aware of who he's looking for, and it's just kind of a fun little dynamic that they have going on, which kind of makes you feel for both characters and get kind of a better insight as to who they are as people. The film also kind of serves as an interesting look at the drug cartel in general. It's not something that I know terribly a lot about personally, but the film itself is, I guess, inspired by an article which was written based on kind of a similar situation, a 90-year-old person being a drug mule for the cartel. And so I would assume it takes a lot of the scenes and inspiration for the film based on that, and so it's fairly accurate, I would hope. And so it's kind of an interesting look at that compared to something like Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul or Narcos or something where they look at kind of other aspects of the cartel in general. The film is a little under 2 hours, and it can feel a little bit slow at times because a lot of the film is basically Clint Eastwood's character driving back and forth, doing different runs throughout the course of a couple months basically. And so it does have some aspects of the drug cartel. It also has aspects of the DEA, and I really thought that those aspects were kind of wasted or not necessarily needed as much as they were. They're kind of just in there. The DEA kind of does what you would more or less expect them to do. They're trying to find Clint Eastwood's character. They're not going to find him, presumably. I'm not going to say what they do, but until the end of the film where we have a big confrontation, as you would pretty much expected if you've seen a movie before. And then any developments which happen with the drug cartel itself don't really immensely affect Clint Eastwood's character because, like, you see this stuff happen in the background. It becomes kind of a thing midway through the film, but again, it doesn't really cause any drastic changes or developments for the story or affect his family in any significant way. It it just never really becomes a big issue, honestly, until maybe towards the very end. So it just kind of made it seem like, okay, why are those aspects even included? It could have been just a character-focused story, if anything. It didn't really feel like it needed these other side aspects necessarily. That being said, I do think that The Mule can be a perfectly fun and entertaining experience just based solely on Clint Eastwood's performance and his character. I think that his story drives the film and makes it perfectly entertaining. In my opinion, I had a fun time watching it. It's just not going to be anything Oscar worthy, in my opinion, or anything that's going to really blow your socks off or anything of that sort. But if you know that going in and you can anticipate a fun drug themed story, you're gonna have a good time with it. But guys, those are my thoughts on The Mule. Let me know your views in the comments down below. Did you like it as much as I did? Did you hate it more than I did? Let me know. Let me know your favorite drug-based movie or TV show. Mine would probably be the Breaking Bad franchise, so like Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul. Those are the two main ones I've seen. Let me know your favorites in the comments down below. Make sure to like, favorite, comment, and subscribe once again if you so choose. I appreciate it immensely. And as always, merry people, my name is Nick Pell, and once again, keep on watching.